Good evening, I am Tingni Tim Hokib and this is TC Network English News Program. Today's top headlines include: Kim made a press release in connection to upcoming Hun Festival, says to celebrate the day as a day of prayer for the nation. Internal conflicts erupts within NSCN-IM. ECI gives right to vote from home to voters above 85 years of age. Death toll rises to 10 in earthquake hit Taiwan. News in details. The Kuki in Manipur Kim made a press release today, the 5th of April 2024, concerning the celebration of Hun Festival in the state. The release says that all the traditional festivals and celebrations of the various communities under Kuki had been halted due to the ongoing conflicts and turmoils in the state. Many people are left homeless and many innocent lives had been taken due to the ethnic cleansing program over the Kukis by the Métis, and celebrations during war have always been against the ways of our forefathers. So, the important festive days were adorned as a day of prayer. As such, even Christmas and New Year were celebrated as a prayer day without flashy decorations in the good days, mass dinner or social gatherings at night. The Hun Tado Cultural Festival is a day of celebration for the Kukis, especially the Tado Kuki descendants. Our forefathers celebrated this festival to welcome the spring season. Even so, the upcoming Hun Festival, which falls on the 7th of April 2024, should be celebrated as a day of prayer for the Kuki nation to recover from the damages of war and also to pray for the victims and their families. All citizens are requested to not forget to pray for the nation on this particular day. If anyone do not pay heed to this information and celebrates the Hun Festival, that will act as a proof to show that we are not united, and it will set a huge drawback for the nation in this ongoing conflict. Since the war has not ended, unity should be our sole focus, and that is the only way to win the ongoing war, said the release. An internal conflict appears to have emerged within the ranks of the NSCN-IM, as military officers within the group have accused its chief of not serving in the interests of Naga movement. However, this claim has been labeled as an act of mutiny. As per the Eastern Mirror on March 30, as many as 14 military leaders from the eastern flank of the Naga army of the NSCN-IM wrote an open letter to the NSCN GPRN Yaruiwo president, declaring that they would no longer subject to the command of the Longvibu, Commandant-in-Chief of Naga Army. It is imperative to make our position clear that in order to save the nation from another crisis, we will not remain dormant to this precarious situation that is placing the Naga political movement to a very dangerous and uncertain position, read the letter. The 14 leaders include Deputy Longvibu Lieutenant General A. Raman, Brigadier Y. Raling, and Brigadier T. Vongdochu, among others. The current Longvibu is Anthony Ninghan Simray. According to the 14 leaders, Simray, upon release from prison in 2016, reportedly proclaimed publicly that he had been conditionally released to bring the other armed groups of Northeast India into the mainstream. Perceiving this as a reflection of the interests of India and not that of our supreme Naga cause, they alleged that the army chief had, in 2018, colluded with our adversary and sent an invitation to Lieutenant General retired H.S. Ramsan to return from his goodwill mission. At such a juncture, when Ramsan was tasked with an important mission to salvage the cause of our nation that was directly boosting the very peace process, and also at a time where arrest warrants had been issued against him by our by our adversary. Such an invitation is plainly a plot by our adversary which is diligently dispensed by the Longvibu, it claimed. Then is not the Longvibu of Naga army an agent of the government of India, the letter added. They went on to list several other instances where Simre illegally worked against the Naga movement, such as the withdrawal of the Ali command in Bangladesh in 2018, failure to counter the government of India's 3-month ultimatum in 2019, and using his position towards bringing revolutionary Northeast groups to the mainstream, among others. The officers claimed that he was questionably assigned as the Indo-Naga peace talk coordinator and has been actively going for political campaigns with false narrative that Pan-Naga Ho-Ho is the manifestation of the Naga sovereignty. As an individual released on bail by the NIA, National Investigation Agency, yet conferred the position of Longvibu, and having considered his actions, we are certain that he is working diligently for the selfish interests of the government of India, the officers asserted. Further justifying their decision, they went on to state that Simre had unjustifiably shut down the office of the Deputy Longvibu of the Eastern Flank and frozen financial sanctions. The 14 officers appealed to all the national workers and the Nagas to rise up against such betrayal. Countering the claims, the office of the Adjutant General AZ General Headquarters Naga Army sought instant disciplinary action against the 14 officers for an act of mutiny. In a letter addressed to the Yairuwo of NSC and IM on April 2nd, the AZ Lieutenant General L. Wung Yip and 6 other Major Generals, including 3 OSDs, to Longvibu claimed that the open letter was not acceptable in the existing law of the nation. It remained that Yairuwo that prior communications regarding the alleged acts of mutiny were shared with his office on October 3, 2023. However, before initiation of any concrete actions against the mutineers, another viral open letter has emerged. Among others, it claimed that many of the signatures of the letter are forgeries and not consistent with their previous signatories. The Election Commission of India has given the right to vote from home to voters above 85 years of age and differently abled persons with more than 40% disability in the ensuing parliamentary elections. As per News on Air, collection of votes from home in Puducherry, Mahe and Yanam regions has begun from the 2nd of April and will be carried out till the 6th of April. In Karaikal region, it is being held from today till the 6th of April. In total, 2,878 voters in these two categories applied for home voting in the Union Territory. Only 45 service people have opted to vote in the facilitation center before the voting day. The death toll has risen to 10, while more than 1,000 people have been injured in a powerful earthquake that hit Taiwan earlier this week. The tremor severely affected the Holland region with its mountainous terrain and the capital Taipei. It caused the most damage in Holland, where buildings fell, roads were blocked, and train lines were disrupted, leaving the remote region even more cut off from the rest of Taiwan. This was the strongest earthquake which has affected Taiwan in 25 years. According to reports, 18 people are still missing, including 4 Indian, Canadian, and Australian. Meanwhile, an earthquake of 6.1 magnitude hit Japan yesterday. Today at around 10:30 a.m., the Siloita Lay, a bridge linking Chandel district to Technopal, Ukhrul and Churachandpur districts foundation laying ceremony and construction work for the same starts today, organized by the Kuki Township Committee (KTC) at Molnom, Gunpi area, Chandel district. Reverend Letngam Haukib, ECI, was the minister of the program, and he had consecration prayer. Totong Haukib, Chairman Christian Township Project Committee, in his speech said that this project was carried out due to transportation and locomotive crisis faced by the people, especially the Gunpi area, due to the ongoing Meitei War which had blocked the highway linking the different districts of the state. The setting up of this bridge had now made locomotion easier for the people of Chandil, Tengnopal, Ukrol, and Churachandpur districts, especially during monsoon seasons, where the water level rises and made it impossible for vehicles to cross the river without a bridge. Helping hands arrived from all corners during the construction of the bridge. The Young Paite Association had donated 30 bags of cement, and Mizo People Convention General Headquarters, Manipur, donated 50 bags of cement, he added. He also further talked about the making of township in the area, and this has been initiated mainly for the internally displaced persons of Suknu area who have nowhere to go or nowhere to resettle. Living in township is also hoped to bring unity among the people. The Gunpi area chief had donated their land for the making of this township, he added. He also requested the IDPs of Suknu area to come back, choose their choice of land, and to resettle in the allocated place within this year. The Siloita Bridge is established to put an end towards our suffering in transportation and locomotion, especially during monsoon. This bridge is not constructed with government funds, but with our own brute strength and donations from various generous people of the society.
Hi naking si rum ta ko no ho pan sai na ki tong do ki ta se do more lang sin ding tinu pal lang chandil lang ho si ki ral kai ni din na lam pi pa hi hilaya che ho sanga hi pam lang ho da kho che zo he na ki ki hon ka ge lu bin slai hin township committee khari sim do lo wale jai su ti ho amuna che ngoi lu mung zo lo ding hi thao something at this it's idin koi pau tong lo ama zong pat halan lai na ama si sa ki pa sa lang le kim vel ho sa chal kho pi luang khan
The Chief Election Officer of Arunachal Pradesh has taken action against members of the Arunachal Christian Forum, and the CMC-CEA is suing SOCAS notices for allegedly violating the Model Code of Conduct. As per Indian Today Northeast, the notices were prompted by allegations that these members were encouraging voters to support Congress candidates who are Christian believers. In a notification dated March 26, 2024, an appeal dated April 1, 2024 circulated on social media platforms. The SCF and PCFC were found extending support to two MP candidates, Nabam Tuki for Arunachal West Parliamentary Constituency and Bosiram Siram for Arunachal East Parliamentary Constituency for the upcoming general election of 2024. They were also urging all members of SCF and PCFC to actively participate in ensuring the victory of the said candidates. However, the Chief Election Officer cited the Religious Institutions Prevention of Misuse Act 1988, which prohibits religious institutions or their managers from using premises under their control for the promotion or propagation of any political activity. The notices issued are deemed contradictory to this act and the Election Commission of India's guidelines on Model Code of Conduct. Consequently, the recipients of the notices are directed to provide a clarification or show cause for conducting such political propaganda under the banner of a religious institution or organization. They have been given a deadline of 3 days from the date of issuance of the notice to respond. Failure to do so will result in necessary legal action being initiated against them as per the provisions of the law. Today at around 11 a.m., inauguration of the Hope Village Level Federation Office Lamka South TD Block was organized at 8 Liang Thon Road, New Lamka, Kanan Veng. The inauguration was done by the chief guest, Lunkholin Haukip, block in charge MSRLM. Lunkholin Haukip in his speech said words of praises towards the Hope VLF for their hard work and enabling the inauguration of the office in a sweeping way. He also speaks about the various reasons why the MSRLM institute the VLF. He also talks about the success story about the mobilization of SHG in Kanan Veng. SHG constitutes of 14 to 15 members, and a combination of various groups of SHG in a village is called VLF. He also speaks about the numerous benefits the members of the various SHG will get through the VLF. The VLF is an intermediate acting as a bridge between the government and the SHGs. The government may not be able to offer job to every household, so if a woman from its household become a member of SHG, they can receive various funds through it, and that we are working on linking the funds to the SHGs, he added. Out of the 18 villages under Lamka TD block, 16 are under the cover of MSRLM, and as of now, 1,400 households are covered. There are 10 SHG under Hope VLF, namely Nupi Tom Tom, Grace, Mom's Family, Ginom, Unity, Esther, Dream, Lailin, Lungtuak, and Amazing. Hope VLF was last instituted on the 18th of March 2023, but its office was inaugurated today.
Vision ini pada hitam na, vision ini taitwa hit. Office ini hitam, si office ay tahu pada. VLF dan vision pada igil doa, vision ilun tayo na rin ato. Tunya hit si office izak din kan kasay nung. Si vision ni siya. Na vision si pi hidihang. 100% eligible household member 2, women household member 2, SAG azal sakdi di tu mo po na vision ay la na. Di lo sing sakdi lo din sakdi. Number 2 atu mother hina is success pitete. Say lo wa sang ye jiu we na. Hi chu pa chu hi de chu, minu pa chu hi de chu. SAG member ho ya cha te da ba ma hi na. Masanga ito ading ibol ding tampi o mahina lai dan ka sai tha nom cha chu chu report ka bore.
A complaint has been lodged against Moirang team Totom Shana Nong Saba, an intending RJSP candidate from Inner Manipur Parliamentary Constituency for the upcoming 18 Lok Sabha elections in 2024. As per the Ukhrul Times, the complaint accuses Nong Saba of violating the provisions of the Model Code of Conduct. Humantim Daina Devi, the district election officer DC of Infal East District, has taken action by writing to the Superintendent of Police of Imphal West District. In her letter dated April 2nd, Devi urged legal action against Nong Saba for illegally causing threat intimidation. The complaint stems from Nong Saba's derogatory remarks against the Chief Minister of Manipur during a live telecast on April 2nd, 2024, aired on the OTT platform SKTV. Nong Saba reportedly made threatening statements indicating physical harm towards the chief minister, stating that he would kill him whenever an opportunity arises. These statements are considered attacks on personal life and are deemed malicious and offensive to decency and morality. The Election Commission of India has consistently issued instructions and advisories to maintain high standards during election campaigns. However, Nong Saba's inflammatory and intimidating speech has raised concerns about promoting enmity, hatred, ill will, and creating disharmony among political functionaries. Humantim Daina Devi has requested legal action against Moirang team Totom Sana Nong Saba under Section 500, 503 and 505 of the Indian Penal Code 1860, read with Section 125 of the Representation of People Act 1951. The district election officer has mandated that an action taken report be submitted by April 5, 2024 to address this issue promptly. The Paumei Naga Union has prohibited all members of Paumei Naga populace to refrain from attending or participating in any events or campaigns organized by any political parties or camps during the ensuing Lok Sabha elections. The Paumei Naga Union declared that the decision was taken after due consultation and threadbare deliberation with the frontal organizations, zonal presidents, and secretaries. Requesting the people to adhere to the prohibition, the union reaffirmed the Paumei community's commitment to unity, solidarity, and collective growth, transcending political affiliations and differences. Expressing its trust and that every member would honor the information, the Paumei apex body urges its people to contribute towards the greater good of their society and collectively uphold the values of integrity, inclusivity, and progress. It may be mentioned that S. Ho John from Tungjoy, Rihubumai village, who is a Paumei Naga, will be contesting as an independent candidate in the Outer Manipur parliamentary constituency. Other candidates in the Outer Manipur parliamentary constituency included Alfred Kangam Arthur of Indian National Congress, Kachui Timothy Zimik of the Naga People's Front, and Alison Abonmai, another independent candidate. International Food Charity World Central Kitchen (WCK) is suspending its operations in Gaza following the death of 7 of its workers in an Israeli airstrike. 3 of the killed 8 workers were British citizens, WCK said. As per the BBC, the charity said those killed were part of an aid convoy that was leading a warehouse in central Gaza on Monday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has acknowledged that Israel's forces hit innocent people. Gaza's Hamas-run media office also blamed Israel. WCK is one of the main suppliers of desperately needed aid to Gaza. It is said that it would be making decisions about the future of its work soon. According to the charity, the aid convoy was hit while leaving the Deir al-Balah warehouse, where the team had unloaded more than 100 tons of humanitarian food aid brought to Gaza on the maritime road. The convoy was made up of 3 vehicles, including 2 that were armored. The BBC understands that all 3 were hit in the strike. WCK said it had coordinated the convoy's movement with the IDF when it was hit. A police and medical source told the BBC workers had been wearing bulletproof vests bearing the WCK logo. The Palestine Red Crescent Society said it had recovered all 7 bodies from the scene of the incident following a challenging operation spanning several hours. The humanitarian group added that the bodies had been taken to the Abu Yosef al-Najjar hospital in southern Gaza in preparation for their evacuation through the Rafah border crossing into Egypt. Netanyahu released a video message on Tuesday in which he said Israeli forces were behind the attack. Unfortunately, in the last 24 hours, there was a tragic case of our forces unintentionally hitting innocent people in the Gaza Strip, he said. It happens in war. We check it to the end. We are in contact with the governments, and we will do everything so that this thing does not happen again. The IDF had earlier said it was conducting a thorough review at the highest level to understand the circumstances of the tragic incident. We will get to the bottom of this and we will share our findings transparently, IDF spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari vowed. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has confirmed that aid worker Laljomi Jomi Francon was among those killed and has offered his condolences to family and friends. In a statement, he said, "This is someone who was volunteering overseas to provide aid through this charity for people who are suffering tremendous deprivation in Gaza." And this is just completely unacceptable. He said Australians expected full accountability, adding that it was a tragedy that should never have occurred. Wasik Bakun, the mayor of the police city of Jamsil, said that Damian Sobol, who was from the area, was also among those killed. Mr. Bakum described Mr. Sobol as a fantastic boy, adding that no words could describe the feelings of those who knew him. The police foreign ministry said it had received reports of the incident and was seeking urgent official confirmation from the Israeli government about the victim's identity. We extend our deepest condolences to the family of the police volunteer who was providing aid to the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip, it wrote on X, formerly Twitter. The UK foreign officer said it was urgently seeking further information about the incident. UK Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron urged Israel to immediately investigate and provide a full transparent explanation of what happened. Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly said she expected full accountability for the killings, adding that strikes on humanitarian personnel were absolutely unacceptable. The Palestinian killed in Monday's strikes has been named as Saif Abu Taha, the driver of one of the cars in the convoy that was struck. Adrienne Watson, a spokesperson for the White House National Security Council, said on X, "We are heartbroken and deeply troubled by the strike that killed 8 workers in Gaza. Humanitarian aid workers must be protected as they deliver aid that is desperately needed, and we urge Israel to safely investigate what happened." More than 196 aid workers have been killed in Gaza since October, according to the U.S.-funded Aid Workers Security Database, which records major incidents of violence against aid personnel. Not all have been killed in the line of duty. Much of the Gaza Strip has been devastated during the Israeli military operations that began after Hamas gunmen attacked southern Israel on 7 October, killing about 1,200 people and seizing 253 hostages. About 130 of the hostages remain in captivity, at least 34 of whom are presumed dead. More than 32,916 people have been killed in Gaza since then, the Hamas-run health ministry says. The work of WCK is critical. They are on the front lines of humanity. Hagari added that the IDF had been working closely with the War Central Kitchen to assist them in fulfilling their noble mission of helping bring food and humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. According to WCK, the workers who died were Australian, Polish, British, Palestinian, and as a dual US-Canadian citizen. "I am heartbroken and appalled that we, War Central Kitchen, and the world lost beautiful lives today because of a targeted attack by the IDF," the charity's chief executive, Erin Gorey, said in a statement. "The love they had for feeding people, the determination they embodied to show that humanity rises above all, and the impact they made in countless lives will forever be remembered and cherished." According to Kogad, the Israeli Defense Ministry body in charge of coordinating aid deliveries to Gaza, the charity is responsible for 60% of the non-governmental aid getting into the territory. WCK said in a recent statement that it had served more than 42 million meals to the people in Gaza since October and had been ready to provide more than 1 million more. The charity recently met headlines for providing hundreds of tons of food for Gazans that was transported on the first and 8th ship in March. Aid agencies have started delivering aid by sea in order to increase the amount getting into the territory, which the UN says is on the brink of famine. But following the deadly strike, the second US-based charity, the American Near East Refugee Aid, ANERA, which was working closely with WCK, told the BBC it was also freezing its operations in Gaza. That was all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.